Okay, now we're going to explain the 3 stages of the diet. So I'm going to explain this just like you are the customer. There are 3 stages to our program. Each stage is critical to the success of you losing the abnormal fat cells and of you keeping it off so it does not come back and losing the right weight. So we want to do these 3 stages. The first stage you're going to do is you are going to binge. You're going to binge for 3 days. I know a lot of people look at you when you say that going, I thought this was weight loss, not weight gain. But there's a purpose behind this. If you're typically on a caloric intake like this and you do a low calorie diet and you drop your calories, a lot of times the body will go into shock, think that it's starving, and it's going to hold on to the fat in a defense mechanism, and you're going to start to lose muscle mass and structure fat, which is the wrong weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to trick the brain and let it relax. So we're going to binge. You want to eat fats, carbs, and proteins, not a lot of sugar, because sugar is just bad for us anyway. Actually, cancer cells consume 15 times more glucose than any other cell in our body. So remember that when you're thinking about eating sugar. But you want to do, eat onion rings, burgers, fries. If you go to Red Lobster, eat those garlic biscuits and dip them into butter. Enjoy yourself for 3 days. During those 3 days, you are going to do 3 sprays of the spray in the morning, middle of the afternoon, at least an hour before dinner, and then 3 sprays again before you go to bed. For the first 3 days, binge, eat, enjoy. You will take the B12 on day 1 and day 3 of the binge. You won't do the EA boost until you start the diet. So enjoy yourself. I always tell people, enjoy yourself on this. Eat the foods that you enjoy eating right now, because you won't be eating them for a while. And then after you are done with the binge, then on day 4, we are going to start the diet. On the diet, you are going to eat fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. The fruits you're allowed to have are apples, oranges, grapefruits, pears, and any type of a berry. Strawberry, blueberry, boysenberry, raspberry. Cherry is not a berry. Grape is not a berry. No bananas, no watermelon, no cantaloupe. Too high in sugars. I always ask the people too, grapefruits, do you love them or hate them? And most of the time, almost 100% of the time, you either love them or hate them. It's a love-hate relationship with grapefruits. If they love them, say great, because that's probably the best fruits that you can eat. That and apples are probably neck and neck. They both have a fat-releasing enzyme in them. If they don't like grapefruits, that's fine. Just eat more apples. Granny Smith are probably the best. You can have any type of apples, but those are the fruits you're going to have on this program. The lean meat you're allowed to have is lean beef, lean chicken, and any white fish. No pork or lamb, just too high in fat content. I know there's lean cuts of it, but it is a fatty meat. No turkey because of the tryptophan. We are trying to detoxify ourselves as we're going through this program as well. And only if you fish, no salmon or tuna unless it's albacore. Very good oils, just not during the diet phase of this program. We're trying to be as fat and as sugar-free as possible. You can eat lettuce, any type of lettuce, and then green vegetables. The reason we want green vegetables, a lot of people ask about cauliflower and zucchini, which are fine, but we want green because they're more high in nutrients. They have, the green in it's. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but it's greener. It has the. I can't even think of the name of it right now off the top of my head. But it's very good. It's the green parts of the vegetable. It'll come to me. But that's what you're going to see vegetables. Your typical diet day. When you get up in the morning, you're going to have a fruit for breakfast. Pick your fruit, whatever type of fruit you want. Apple, grapefruit, orange, pear, or any type, a handful of berries. You can add 1 to 3 egg whites if you would like. This is optional. If you're feeling a little lethargic and kind of dragging in the day, it's because your blood sugars are low. The protein will boost the blood sugar. So you can have 3 egg whites every day, or you can have no days. A lot of people ask, why not the yolk? Because the yolk is fatty, it's cholesterol, etc. So you can take hard-boiled eggs, take the yolk out, give it to a dog, cat or a dog, because it's good for their coat. Or you can just buy egg whites in the carton. No egg beaters or anything like that, just get pure egg whites. You can put a little cilantro or some spinach or something in there if you'd like to flavor your egg whites. Then 2 to 3 hours later. The reason I say 2 to 3 hours later, you may have somebody that works a night shift. You may have somebody different. So whenever they get up, then they will have their breakfast, which is the fruit and then the optional egg whites. Then 2 to 3 hours later, they're going to have a fruit snack. Pick one of the fruits. That is their fruit snack. Then 2 to 3 hours later, they're going to have lunch. You're going to have lettuce, salad, as much as you want. You can have any type of green lettuce, cabbage, spinach. Start with a handful, but you can have a couple handfuls if you like, because it's really a negative calorie food. It takes our body more calories to digest it than is actually in it. So start out with a handful. Then you want to get 4 to 6 ounces of protein, which is about the size of the palm of your hand. If it's a male or a bigger person, they have a bigger engine, they can eat up to 6 to 8 ounces. But you really want to stay to the 4 to 6 ounces of protein, unless it's just a bigger engine, it requires more fuel. And then a handful of steamed green vegetables. You don't want to microwave them because mild radiation destroys the nutrients, so you can eat them raw, you can grill them, you can bake them, or you can steam them. Just don't use a microwave. You can use balsamic vinegar on your salad, or else we have some recipes that we will send to them that if they like a sweeter dressing, uses Truvia or stevia. There's a couple of different dressings in our recipes that we'll give them. So if they like a sweeter dressing, they can just add Truvia and stevia to taste. I mean, as sweeter as they want, they can add more to it, just up to their taste. Then basically 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to have another fruit snack. Then 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to have your dinner, supper. Again, it's going to be a handful of lettuce, 4 to 6 ounces of the protein, or 6 to 8 if it's a bigger individual. It's lean beef, lean chicken, or any white fish. Switch up your protein. So if you had, let's say, beef for lunch, half chicken or fish for dinner. And then again, the steamed green vegetables. Then after that, 2 to 3 hours after you had your dinner, supper, you're going to have another fruit snack. So you're basically having 3 meals, 3 fruit snacks. You're eating 6 times a day, smaller portions. One of the main reasons that people gain weight and keep it on is the poor eating habits. So we are teaching them healthy eating habits. We've had a lot of customers tell us that after they've done the program that this is so great because we've taught them to eat healthier. So that's what you want to do. This is the program. You're going to do this until you get to the weight you want. I usually have the products sitting on the desk there, and I say, do this. Don't believe in any of the charts the doctors say, because they still say I'm obese. So wherever you want to get to, whatever that goal is, once you're done, and I push the products aside, you are done. Now you don't have any other products that you have to take. Now we're going to go to stage 3, which is the maintenance or stabilization, and this is so you do not gain your weight back. What you want to do is 2 days after you've stopped using the product, you're still going to do the diet because the products are still working. Then you're going to add the other foods into your diet. Now you can have bananas and grapes and cherries. Now you can have some pork, lamb, or turkey. Now you can have the salmon or the tuna. You still want to stay with the 3 meals, 3 snacks, smaller portions, but eating the other foods that are okay back into your diet, but strictly staying away from white flour and white sugar. You want to do this for 21 days. The reason we do this for 21 days is once the body maintains its weight for 21 days, it somehow triggers the hypothalamus gland to reset the new set weight. They call it a set weight. I call it a hover weight. There's a weight that we usually have that we go up and down a little bit. That's for whatever reason the hypothalamus gland. So if you do not reset it to the new lower weight, the body, brain will do everything it can to get back to the weight it was. That's why we hear so many people go, I did this diet, lost all the weight, but I gained it all back and then some, because they did not reset the hypothalamus gland. It's very crucial and critical to do this part. Then once they get, if there's a gain of 2 pounds or more also during the maintenance or stabilization, if one of those days they gain 2 pounds or more, we're going to ask them to do a steak day. A steak day is basically you're going to not eat any food all day long, just drink a bunch of water, and then you'll have a big steak and a couple of tomatoes at night. And then that will somehow, because of the lycopene in the tomatoes and the protein in the steak, it will reset that. When I personally did this program and lost 27 pounds, it didn't happen to me. I actually lost a couple more pounds on the maintenance or stabilization, so it didn't affect me, but I've had customers that would say, boy, your steak day sure works well. So, so you're going to do that, and then once you're done, you're done. Now you can slowly add white flour and white sugar back in your diet occasionally, but you have to remember to do this as a treat to yourself. There's no benefit to eat white flour or white sugar anytime. It's empty calories that is going to convert to fat. Now I'm still, my guilty pleasure is pizza. I still love pizza, but instead of having it once or twice a week, I have it once or twice a month. It's a treat to myself, but I can tell you, one thing is after you put good fuel into your body, and once you eat something like that, you're going to feel terrible. I mean, when I actually did this program before I started this company, they said you can treat yourself. So I went and had a Big Mac, large fry, and a Coke. After I did my maintenance or stabilization, I can tell you I have never felt so sick in my life from eating some food. And to this day, this is almost 9 years, a little over 9 years ago, I have not had another Big Mac. I felt like I just was so sick to my stomach. It's like almost like I put poison in it. But if you think about it, I mean, our body, you just have to get a new relationship with food. Food is fuel. It's fuel for our body. That's all it is. We as a society have turned it into a pleasurable thing. And that's why it has the sugars in it, because it's pleasurable on the palate. I always tell people, when you're going to eat something, cheat or something, ask yourself this question. Is the 20 to 30 seconds of euphoria on your taste buds worth the damage it's going to do to your body when it gets inside? And usually the answer is no. I mean, if the answer is yes, then you got to relook at what you're doing as far as your eating, because it's so short-lived. I mean, it's okay, like I said, to do a treat every once in a while, like my pizza, once, maybe twice a month. But then stick to the good, healthy eating habits, because it's going to help you live much, much longer. Okay, now once we get to this point, now we're going to go through the manual. I basically walk them through the manual, page by page, which I will do for you here. And then once we get to the end, we'll ask them if they have any questions, and then we'll ask them if they're ready to get started. We never really try to close really hard on this. This isn't a sale that you try to sell somebody. We are explaining this program, and if we explain it in a good way and they understand it, I mean, they came in to lose weight. They're frustrated. They would have never picked up the phone. They would have never come to meet with you if they really didn't want to lose weight. All you've got to do is explain this to them very well, and they'll do it. I mean, I have 99 out of 100 people that walk through the door will end up walking out if they come and see me, because I'm just going to explain it to them. I mean, it worked for me. It's worked for thousands and thousands of people. So now we're going to go through the manual, and we'll answer the questions.